OpenAI 推出了操作员和代理简介，现在呢只是一个研究预览，它会从小的规模开始，它有一个局限性，它现在只向美国的 Pro 用户使用。简单来说，你需要付费$200才能使用这样的一个功能。这里是一个链接，我们可以看一下。打开之后，它告诉我们你不在美国就无法使用，我们需要等一段时间。如果你想使用它的一个 AI 代理，你可以点击这里看一下。这里它显示了研究工程师、科学家、计算机可以使用它关于团队、关于角色。这个角色呢，你需要做的一些事情，它有一定的条件。通过尖端代理研究和部署产生现实世界的影响的一个兴奋团队合作，执行力出色，享受快节奏的一个研究变化，拥有自身的背景，拥有系统的工程技能。这里它做了一个简介，这里有介绍，它会提供股权，还有一些奖励。下面我们主要看一下它的一个操作员和代理商的一个介绍。这里它告诉我们呢 ，Operator 是一个使用自己的浏览器为你执行任务代理的一个研究领域。现在呢，只供美国专业用户使用，也就是说有两个条件，一个是你需要每个月付费$200，另一个就是你必须是美国用户。在这里它有一个简单的图片的一个显示。这里呢，它发布了 Operator， 它是一个可以访问网络执行任务的一个代理。你可以使用自己的浏览器查看，并通过输入、单击和滚动与它进行交互。它告诉我们，它现在还只是一个研究预览，有它的一个局限性，但是它会根据用户不断的一个迭代前进。它告诉我们 Operator 只是它的一个首批代理之一，它能够为你的人工智能进行工作。简单来说，就是你给它一个任务，它就会开始执行。这里呢，它告诉我们操作员可以被要求执行各种复杂的一个任务，比如说填写表格、订购杂货，甚至创建模音。它可以扩大人工智能的一个实用性，帮助人们节约日常任务的一个时间，同时为企业开辟新的一个世界。这里它告诉我们呢，现在你可以通过这个网页直接使用 Operator， 它未来计划是能够让 Plus、Term 和 Ent 用户来使用，并让它集成到未来的 ChatGPT 中那么我是一个 Plus 用户，还需要等待。我们看一下 Operator 是如何工作的。这里介绍了Operator 是一种计算机代理的 Sim 模型，提供动力通过增强学习，将 GPT-4o 的视觉功能与高举推理功能结合，训练与图形界面相互作用人们在屏幕上看到按钮、菜单和文字字段。简单来说在 ChatGPT 的帮助下来处理日常的一些工作。操作员呢可以使用浏览器也就是视觉能力当它的一个眼睛，使用鼠标和键盘允许所有的一个操作当做一个双手，然后在网络上采取行动，而无需自定义的一个 API 进行集成。如果呢它发现了错误，它会根据自己的一个推理能力自己来纠正，并且会记住卡住需要帮助时它会找用户来请求帮助，并确保用户来平稳且协作的体验，相当于是一个半自动的驾驶汽车。我如果遇到问题交给用户来使用。这里它告诉我们呢它现在还有一定的局限性，但是它设置了这样两个最新的一个基准，这两个基准保持关键的浏览器正常的一个运行。那么作为用户该如何使用呢？第一步，你描述你想要完成的任务，并且操作员也可以处理其余的任务。用户在任何时候都可以接管浏览器的一个控制，并对操作员进行培训。你可以要求用户主动来接管，也可以要求让他动作，关键还是在人。用户可以通过网站或者是自定义，使 Operator 形成自己独特的一个流程，然后它会进行保存在主页上，反复的让你进行使用。这里它还告诉我们你可以同时运行多个任务，你可以一会儿让它填写表格，一会儿让它处理任务，并且它们可以并行来实现，相当于一个人做许多的事情。这里他讲到了生态系统和用户。Operator 呢，一个目标就是将被动的工具转化为数字生态系统中的积极参与者，它能够简化用户的一个任务， 并为需要的客户来创作代理，进而提高他们的效率。现在他们与这些人已经有了一些合作，比如说 Operator、Uber 等等，这些他已经进行了一些合作，这些都是合作的人员。既然是一个代理功能，首先考虑的就是安全问题，无论是对于用户还是对于企业来说，他们就非常重视这些东西。如果这个不能解决，它都是空中楼阁。这里呢，它告诉了我们，它采用了3层保护措施来防止滥用，并且这个控制权牢牢地控制在用户手中。首先呢，操作员经过培训你可以确保人始终处于控制之中，并在关键点需要你的输入。第一种就是接管模式，运营商在浏览器中输入敏感信息的时候，比如说你的登录信息、支付信息，必须要求用户进行接管。运营商不会通过截图或者收集这些数据，不过呢，我们无法判断，只能后续来进行监管。用户确认，在完成重大的操作之后运营商会请求批准，相当于你是一个老板，下属做完的事情需要你来确认，需要你进行限制。这里有一个任务限制操作员经过培训可以拒绝某些敏感任务。监视模式，在特别敏感的网络上比如说电子邮件或者是金融服务运营商会对其进行密切监管，以及发生了重要的一个错误可以及时的一个发现。它简化了 Operator 中的数据隐私管理，你可以选择退出训练。这就像 ChatGPT 中为每个人都设置了这样的一个功能，它告诉你你可以使用它的一个数据。如果你选择不让 ChatGPT 使用，它也可以选择退出模型。但是这就有一点麻烦，如果你不让它使用，你的功能可能稍微弱一点。透明的数据管理，用户呢可以在运营商设置隐私的情况下删除所有的一个数据，就像 ChatGPT 一样，如果你把所有的数据清空，它也是你允许的。最后呢，它会对试图攻击它的提示，比如说恶意代码、网络钓鱼建立防御措施。第一个就是谨慎导航，第二个就是监控，它会监控那些可疑的行为，如果出现问题，它可以要求自动的暂停任务。检测管道，它是2个管道自动进行的，一个是人工，另一个是自动，双向交叉的来进行监管。这里它做了一些介绍，并且还告诉我们它处于早期阶段，虽然能够处理广泛的任务，但是在学习和工作中难免会犯错误希望大家能够理解。接下来他会做的事情就是 API 的一个 CUA， 他会很快的在 API 中公开支持它的一个模型，进而让开发人员可以构建自己的一个 AI 代理，这是很正常的一个现象。他也感觉到了压力，这个压力就是 DeepSeek免费公开的一个内容增强的一个能力，它会持续的提高它的一个能力处理更长更复杂的工作任务，然后更广泛的一个访问。它稳定之后，它会让 Plus、Term 和 Interim 用户开始使用，它也会集成到 ChatGPT 中，进行无缝的实时和异步任务的一个执行。接下来是 Sam 奥特曼的一个视频我们可以看一下视频。这个视频呢，我会让它中英文翻译一下方便大家理解。
Good morning. We've got something exciting for you today. We're going to launch our first agent. AI agents are AI systems that can do work for you independently. You give them a task, and they go off and do it. We think this is going to be a big trend in AI and really impact the work people can do, how productive they can be, how creative they can be, what they can accomplish. We're starting today with Operator. Operator is a system that can use a web browser, in this case a web browser in the cloud, to accomplish tasks that you give it. And we'll show you a demo in just a second, but it's really quite cool what it can do. Just like you would use a web browser, you can get pixels in, you can look at a screen and control, an Operator can do that and then control the keyboard and the mouse and do all sorts of things. This is going to go live today in the United States for Pro users, and it'll be other countries soon. Europe will unfortunately take a while, and we'll also in the coming months make it available to Plus users. This is an early research preview. We've got a lot of improvements to do. We'll make it better, we'll make it cheaper, we'll make it more widely available, but we really want to put it in people's hands. We'll also have more agents to launch in the coming weeks and months, but that said, we'll talk more later. So excited, just want to show you a demo. I'll hand it over to Yash.
Great, thanks, Sam. Hi, I'm Yash. This is Casey. That's Ray. And we work on the computer using agent team. And we're so excited to show you Operator today. As Sam said, Operator is an early research preview. It will do a lot of cool things. It also makes mistakes, sometimes embarrassing ones. But let's show you what Operator can do. OK, so this is the Operator homepage. It lives at operator.chatgpt.com. It'll be accessible as soon as the live stream is over. And as you can see, the interface is very similar to ChatGPT. You can type in a prompt, and an Operator will try to execute the task to the best of its capability. You'll also see we have a list of pre-filled prompts here. These are not really meant to be recommendations. These are meant to be things that, to give you an idea of what Operator can do. We have also collaborated with various brands like OpenTable, AllRecipes, StubHub, Uber, Thumbtack, DoorDash, eBay, Target, to make sure Operator really works well on these websites. But also, we think users will find Operator very valuable in interacting with these platforms. So with that, let's jump in with a demo. OK, so I'm going to start with something fairly simple. I'm going to use OpenTable and say, book me a table for 2 at Beretta tonight at 7 p.m. OK.
And so you specifically chose OpenTable here.
Yeah, in this case, I'm asking Operator to use OpenTable to book a table for 2 at Beretta. Beretta is a restaurant in San Francisco. It's great. You should try it out. And at 7 p.m. And I'm using OpenTable in this case, but I could have easily said, just do Beretta, and it would have probably gone to search engine, figured out how to make a reservation as well. But let's see what it does.
So can you explain what's happening in this?
Yeah, right. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as soon as I typed in the query, Operator instantiated a completely remote browser. This browser is running in the cloud somewhere. And as you can see, it's already up and running. And my hands are off the keyboard. I'm not typing these things.
So this is just the AI's clicking around.
AI is just clicking around. It started this browser session. It knew where OpenTable website is, which is opentable.com. As you can see, it's summarized chain of thought here as well, which is it's gone to the URL, searched for Beretta. And something cool really happened, which is for some reason, OpenTable thought we were in Virginia. And it auto-corrected itself to San Francisco. This is using, so like ChatGPT, in Operator, you can also give custom instructions. So I'm going to show this really quickly here. OK. So I've given a custom instruction that for queries that need it, I live in San Francisco. So Operator recognized that and then auto-corrected itself to go to Beretta. OK, looks like 7 p.m. isn't available. But you know what? 7:45 is just fine. So we're going to go do that. So in this case, Operator came back, and this is a really good example of task delegation where Operator needs help or needs assistance or just wants to ask you something. It'll just come back and answer that query.
So in practice, you wouldn't have had to watch this. You could have just let it go off while you're doing other things. Then it would come back and say, hey, I can't do 7:45.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we're starting with a web app. You'll get notifications, et cetera. When Operator moves into mobile, you'll get mobile notifications, much like interactions we do with general apps. OK, yes, that's great. Let's do it. OK, so again, very simple interaction as you would have with an assistant, which is, hey, I found a reservation, 7 p.m. wasn't available, let's do 7:45. And again, you can see Operator at this point has said, OK, should I? Again, this is a really good example of the confirmations work we're going to talk about a little bit later. But before doing an action, which is sort of irreversible in this case, you can cancel the reservation, obviously. But again, taking a critical action, Operator is asking us before actually doing it. And in this case, I'm going to say, let's do it. OK, it was pretty quick, I would say, like 50 seconds. And again, we were watching in this case, et cetera. But as Sam said,
you could kick off 10
kick it off and go on. OK, so let's try something. Oh, unfortunately, that table is no longer available. So it's going to probably go and find alternate time slots. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. That's never happened before.
Live demos, man.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do 8:15. OK, while it's doing that, how about we try something a little bit more complicated?
Oh, groceries.
Yeah, I love groceries. So I've been using Operator to shop all my groceries. I love to cook quite a bit. And I have been using Operator exclusively for groceries. So I have a shopping list here, which is this one. Let's see what it is. Eggs, spinach, mushrooms, chicken thighs, chili crunch.
And so this is a picture that you're uploading here.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to use Instacart, which is, again, what we use generally. Can you buy this for me, please? And I'll also specify the store I like, which is, well, let's see if he figures out I mistyped it, but let's see. OK, so in this case, again, Operator quickly actually recognized using GPT-4o's vision capabilities to understand that the image said egg, spinach, mushroom, chicken thighs, and it actually knew Gus's market. And I'm like, yes, that sounds great. Cool. Again, just like OpenTable, it instantiated a browser, and it's going to go ahead and start doing tests. I'm going to expand the view, and let's see what it does.
So in both of these cases, you've said what you want it to use. If you just say, buy me these groceries and don't specify Instacart, what happens?
It will do a search, use a search engine, much like we do, and it'll find, Instacart or Gus's Directly website or whatever else is on the search engine, go through that, ask you questions if it needs clarifications, and go from there. I'm curious what's happening here, though, Ray. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So now that you've seen a bit of Operator, let me talk a little about the research behind it. So Operator is based on a new model we've trained at OpenAI, which we're calling the Computer Using Agent, or KUA for short. So KUA is a model built off of GPT-4o, but it's also trained to use and control a computer in the same way that humans can, by just looking at the screen and using a mouse and keyboard to control it. Before, if you wanted to build something like Operator without KUA, you'd need to use some specialized APIs. For example, if you wanted your model to buy stuff from Instacart, you'd need to figure out if Instacart had an API. You'd need to figure out if that API had all the functions that it needed, and you need to give your model the specs of that API. But if your site, like most other websites, did not have an API, then you're out of luck.
So this is just using screenshots, no API, nothing, just
no
working.
API, yes. And that's where KUA comes in. By teaching a model how to use the same basic interface that we use on a daily basis, it just unlocks a whole new range of software that it can use that was previously inaccessible.
And so this is keyboard and mouse, right? It's kind of using keyboard and mouse, just
exactly.
like human would.
Yes, and that's really what the KUA research project is about. It's about removing one more bottleneck in our path towards AGI and letting our agents move around and act in the digital world. So let's make that a little bit more concrete by looking at this task and seeing exactly how Operator is using a computer.
It's already done.
It looks like it's already done, but let's go back a little bit to the top here. Okay, so I chose a random spot. The first thing that KUA does when it controls the computer is it looks at the screenshot. So now you're seeing maybe the search results page for eggs in Instacart. So KUA understands this. It's just seeing the raw pixels. And after KUA sees this image, it decides what to do next. So right now, it's making some inner monologues, and this is the summarized chain of thought. So what KUA is doing is, according to it, it's selecting organic eggs and adding it to the cart, which is a reasonable thing to do. So after it does this plan, it then figures out what the next action it should take is. So let's see what it does in the next step. OK, so you see that it performed a click on this add button right here. So that's very reasonable. Now, every time KUA does an action, it takes the next screenshot of the computer so that it knows what effect its action had on the computer. So let's see what happens next. Yep, OK, so after clicking on the add button, now you see it in the cart. And this just kind of keeps continuing. Let's see what it does next. OK, so it creates the next subplan, which is adding eggs and searching for spinach. So it's probably going to search for spinach now. OK, so it clicks on the search bar right there. It types in spinach. So this loop of taking actions, grabbing screenshots, and creating new subplans, it just keeps going on until Operator decides that it's done with the task, and then it goes back to you.
It's very cool to see its thought process going like that.
It is, yeah. So let's actually go back to live, and yeah, Operator is done. Yash, you want to see if Operator did your job right?
Yeah, let's see. You know what? I want a little bit more eggs. I think we eat a lot of eggs. OK, so what I can do at this point, and I'm going to just click this button called Take Control. So this remote, as we were talking about, like Operator fires up this remote browser to do it. We almost think of it as a surface area where Operator can work and then I can work. For example, in this case, I took over control from Operator, which is also key to sort of how we think about user and user controls. Like at any point in time, a user should be able to take control and give Operator instructions or tell a little bit more, guide a little bit more, et cetera.
It's like passing the laptop back and forth, just like you did with Ray.
Totally, exactly right. Just like, in this case, I'm going to make those two. And then I'm just going to tell Operator. This is, again, like very much like if you and I were working, I'd be like, hey, I did this. Can you fix this? And I'm going to tell Operator, I added another egg. Good to place order now.
Can Operator see what you're doing during takeover mode?
Great point. So when you take over, it's very much just like a session with your local browser. It's completely private. Operator cannot see. And this is part of the reasons why I have to tell Operator. Or you don't really have to. It can look at the last screenshot and try to guess it. but it's really good. It's sort of like if you and I were working together, I went off and did something, and I come back and like, Ray, I completely messed it up. Can you fix this? Gonna have to tell you that. So in this case, I'm going to tell Operator, hey, go ahead. And now I'm passing back the control to Operator. It's a completely private session when you take over control. This is you'll notice that I'm logged into Instacart here. I did it before the demo, or it has been logged in for a while now. And it's, again, very much like your local browser. When you log into Instacart, until the cookies are cleared, you stay logged in. And we have really good controls. You can go in settings and control and remove at any point in time. So let's see. OK. I will skip the payments here. And we are going to, should we try to do a few more things? Let's, yeah. What do we all want to do?
I hear the Lakers are in town this weekend.
Lakers in town, definitely.
Let's
Should we all go see the game?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so we are going to use StubHub. And see, can you get us 4 tickets to the Warriors game, not the Lakers
Excuse
game?
me, you're right.
This weekend in SF. Best seats under 500, please. Give us a few options. Okay.
And so what apps are available here?
We have a lot of apps. I'll kick it off, and all right, let's do it. So we have a lot of apps in various different categories, as was shown on the homepage. So it's StubHub, Target, Etsy, and all the verticals. But also, Operator is not really restricted to these apps. You can use pretty much, Operator with any website. Oops. Oh, what happened?
Oh, StubHub is blocked.
Let's see. Let's try to fix it. So this is a good example of, sometimes things happen in live demos. We have put a protection in place where we only allow Operator to visit HTTPS sites. And somehow, I think a redirect must be happening where went up. OK. All set. Keep going. OK, cool. So again, as we have talked about, it's a remote browser, so it can do a lot of things. One of the advantages of doing that is you can do a lot of tasks in parallel, as Sam, you were talking about earlier. So let's try to do a few more tasks. Australian Open is going on, and I've been very inspired by it. Did you watch the quarterfinals?
I've been watching the quarterfinals.
All right, great. OK, so I'm going to try and see if I can get a tennis code. Can you see if St. Mary tennis code Okay, so I said St. Mary because I live in Bernal Heights. That's pretty close by. And while that's going, let's also...
And that time you didn't
You
use
did
the
not
app.
specify. I did not specify a website. I can actually quickly go back and see. In this case, it's doing very much what we would do, which is like, go to a search engine and then
Just
search
use
for
the
it.
internet, like
Exactly.
Yeah.
OK, I'm also hosting a Super Bowl party. You guys are invited.
Thank you.
Okay, but I need to clean the house. Can you find me house cleaners for next week, please? OK. And lastly, we've all been working really hard to bring this to you.
The whole team.
The whole team. We have a big crew here. Everyone's working. And we're really getting hungry. I didn't have breakfast. And I kind of want pizza, even though it's weird for breakfast. But that's OK. And so I'm going to go ahead and order some pizzas. OK. So we're going to use DoorDash in this case. Can you get us 10 medium, 10 good enough? Yeah. 10 medium-sized pizzas from...
Goat Hill?
Goat Hill? OK. Goat Hill
Or
pizza. Go to.
Can you make sure you have barbecue? I like that.
Please add barbecue pizza, but pick a variety.
It's so hard not to say please to the AI.
I just feel like I have to be very nice to it, which I do. OK, the shop might be closed. So if the restaurant is closed, just schedule it.
And I love that you're talking to it just like you would a human.
I'm thinking inner monologue, and then I'm typing it out. Earliest time possible. OK. Also, one thing I'll call out, I think, OK, cool. OK, so it's just asking me to confirm basically what I said in a much better way. Yes. We can't see the notifications popping up on the live stream, but for example, as the other tasks are going on, if I need assistance, for example, in this case, it asked me, hey, this is 941100, I can just say yes. But I would be getting notifications, etc., so that whenever operator needs help, we can go back and help. Looks like in this case, it's already found us tennis courts. And OK, well, we have some selection to make.
Wow, all of the seats are amazing.
I know. Why do I believe 374 is better than 262?
That's an interesting thing. But it's lower rated.
Okay, which one should we add? Row 6?
I think row 1. Row 1 is
Row
good.
1? Okay, let's do that. Let's do section 214. Row 1.
So this is a good time to talk about the human in the loop interaction mode that we've been developing. You can see that operator comes back and asks for confirmation when it's about to do anything kind of impactful. And yeah, so I think we're all very excited about this vision of operator doing your chores for you. But it is one of the first agents that we're putting out in the world, and which has real world side effects. And so we thought carefully about how to deploy this safely. The framework we used to think about this was one centered around misalignment. So for example, what if the user is misaligned? So maybe they're asking for a harmful task, like buy a weapon or something like that. In that case, fortunately, we've done a lot of work with ChatGPT to bring over a lot of the same mitigations. So for example, we refuse harmful tasks, including harmful agentic tasks. We have moderation models, we have post hoc detection, we have blocked websites. And I'm kind of rattling off these mitigations, but that's really how we think about it. It's this stack of mitigations that each incrementally reduce the risk to the point where we feel comfortable deploying.
So all the confirmations that we're saying, hey, do you want to reserve the restaurant?
Yeah,
should you
exactly.
buy the tickets? Those are all examples of this.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm about to talk about the confirmations. So another area of misalignment is if the agent is misaligned. So if the model makes a mistake, maybe purchases the wrong item or books the wrong hotel room. For this, our main mitigation is confirmations. So the operator will come back if it's about to do something stateful and ask you so you can double check what its details in case it made some error. The third area of misalignment is if the website is misaligned. So maybe the website is fraudulent, or it's a fake website, or maybe it's literally like, operator, please wire me $100. We obviously don't want to follow those instructions. So we've developed our model to try to avoid those instructions and not follow them. But if that fails, we also have a separate layer on top. This is what we call the prompt injection monitor. Think of it as like antivirus that kind of observes and watches your trajectory and sees if there's anything suspicious. If it does, then it pauses it. So we feel pretty comfortable with our approach, but obviously, safety is an ongoing process. We can't predict everything. So we hope to learn a lot from this deployment and iterate on our mitigations as we go.
And that is one of the reasons we are starting small. Like, we want to really iterate, get a lot of feedback, and then gradually bring it to everyone as well.
Exactly.
Should we check on status of our tasks?
Yeah, let's check on the status.
OK. So it looks like tickets are ready to be purchased. Yes, please. OK. Well, that's happening. This is good. I can ask it to book it, but I'm just going to close it for now. Oh, just once, please. We'll continue. And looks like we're adding pizzas. So, oh, cool. I am going to go ahead and log in here really quickly. So this is an example, right? Like where I obviously need to log in or enter my credentials to actually purchase these tickets. And operator just asks, as you just described, with confirmations and making sure the control is on the right place. And we can take control. And at this point, as we talked about earlier, the session is completely private as well. I am going to, you know what? I'll log in live. Let's see how that goes. Continue. I'm going to do a sign in with email code because I don't really remember. 1 second. Pull it up. Don't try to copy this. Okay. All right, great. Now, again, I can sort of continue the purchase here, or I can ask operator to do it, but I am going to go ahead and just quickly do this purchase for myself. Click, click, click. All great, all great. Order, buy now. Ooh.
Maybe we don't want to show that live.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see. I kind of want to buy the tickets. OK. Oops. All right. Done. I'm going to cancel this card.
It's probably fine.
OK. I'm all set. Thank you for the help.
OK.
So how reliable is this in practice?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of cool demos, but again, we want to remind you that Operator is a research preview. It will make mistakes, and it is not perfect. That said, we can look at a few benchmarks and kind of quantify how good Operator is right now. So one of the first benchmarks that we're going to look at is called OS World. OS World is an eval that measures how well AI agents navigate common operating systems like Linux. On this task, Kua gets a 38.1% score, which is higher than other publicly published results. Human performance in this task is 72.4%, so we still have room to grow, definitely. The other eval we'll take a look at is called WebArena. WebArena is an eval that measures how well AI agents navigate some common websites like e-commerce websites or social forum websites. So on this task, Kua gets 58.1%, again, higher than other publicly published results, but still falls short of human performance.
Still a way to go.
Still a way to go, yes. One thing that's important to remember about WebArena is that even though it's the web, we're still just giving it the same universal interface of screen, mouse, and keyboard. We're not giving it any extra information that might help it do the task, like the raw text of the web page or information about which buttons are clickable. And all the information it needs, just like humans, is just in the screenshot.
And so right now, obviously, in Operator, we're using the browser, but I could use the model with the computer as well, with just Ubuntu or Mac or whatever else.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, in the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think I did all my errands for the week. Got my groceries,
Very productive.
tennis court booked, cleaner's coming, hopefully. We'll see. We'll check on the status. We have tickets. Everyone's coming. And this is really, I think, where we think Operator is like very, very valuable. We can delegate a lot of tasks that you can do, obviously, yourself, but you can delegate it. It can make a lot of progress with you. Sometimes we'll get stuck. As we said, it's early, but you can come back, help it, and over time, it'll continue to get better and better. And one last thing. We're launching this today. We're going to start slowly rolling it out right now. By the end of the day, everyone on Pro in the US will have access. But also, we're working on the API. This model will be available in the API, and we'll be launching in a few weeks.
You guys, congrats. This is incredible work. It's so exciting to get this out. I think people are going to love it. It's early, as we mentioned, but we have a long and great history here of early research previews developing into products that people really love. So this is really the beginning of this product. This is the beginning of our step into agents, level 3 on our tiers. And we can't wait to see how people are going to use this and to kind of work with us to figure out where exactly it should go. So again, congrats. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.
关于 OpenAI 推出的 Operator 的视频我分享完了。如果你有什么样的问题，可以点击下方这里评论。我们下一个视频再见。